Hello, I'm Jan. If you're new around here, I'm an artist and game designer, and I make TTRPG postcard dungeons and stickers every month for Patreon. This time, we're working on a goofy little scene called Punk Park. I had a lot of fun with this one. For this dungeon, we're going to start with the map art. While I draw, let me tell you a bit more about Punk Park itself. Here at Punk Park, there's a couple of rules. Rule number 1, you gotta have wheels, you gotta have a ride. Be it a skateboard, roller skates, wheelchair, BMX bike, a rolling suitcase, a shopping cart, etc., etc. Don't have any wheels? Don't worry. If you need a new set, there's a community lost and found pile you can dig through. Don't mind all the duct tape and string though. Rule number 2, you gotta skate down. In Punk Park, a skate down is a duel, where you do sick flips and tricks against your opponent's moves. Challengers can opt into a friendly skate down, where the winner just trades their wheels with the loser, or you can agree to a mortal skate down, where the winner takes all of the loser's wheels. But if you lose all your wheels, you get carried right out of Punk Park and tossed to the curb. Let me remind you of rule number 1, you gotta have wheels. But why would your group of adventurers even step foot in Punk Park to play these silly games? Well, the gossips say King Punk knows something you don't. Something you need. Bad. But King Punk won't talk to just anyone off the street. The party will have to pick up some wheels to win skate downs and gain the community's respect. And only when the party gets enough tokens from the locals will they get an audience with the king. I really liked making up all the different obstacles, both the reasonable and real world ones, and the super wild and possible ones. Making up the names and descriptions for all the ramps and characters was also very fun. I wanted to draw some cartoony graffiti, so I started up a whole new canvas to doodle some more. And so bit by bit, I added more and more graffiti and added some texture. There's a whole list of characters to meet. I hope y'all have fun with this. With the map art done, let's make the stickers. For the first sticker art piece, I'm drawing the one and only King Punk. King Punk doesn't just look like a cool dude. They have a lot of connections that keep them well informed. A secret network of punks around the world. So if your party has a question, King Punk has the answer. The next sticker I'm drawing is of a little character called Triple Dub. She's a little woolly unicorn creature, and she's called Triple Dub because she's got like 6 U's in that name. Look, I mathed it out, don't mention it again. She also loves hanging out at Big Dub, the park's giant side-by-side half-pipes. So the Big Dub is called Big Dub because the ramps are basically 2 big U's next to each other. And just in case you didn't know, 2 U's make a double U, and a double U is a dub-ya, and a dub-ya is aka a dub. So yeah, math is fake. With the art done, it's time to turn them into stickers. Anyway, it's time for layout. To start, I set up the map side, and I took the light gray background texture and stretched it to fit. Then I placed another layer for the main map art and the title. Once I made sure all the artwork was within the margins, I moved on to the other side. I set up 3 columns for the main body and made a separate text box just for the intro. I picked out a fun font for What's Up Punks. It looks a lot like drippy spray paint, which was perfect. Next, I added in a section and formatted the headers before adding in the next block of text. When I was happy with it, I just copy and pasted the section a few times so I can insert the plain text into each style. And here, pretty immediately, I ended up splitting the single text box with the 3 columns into 3 separate text boxes. I just needed more flexibility with the placement. So, a little funny thing happened while working on this table. So usually while I'm working away on my PC, I've got some anime playing or I'm watching a buddy streaming on my second monitor. But my focus was so locked in this day, I completely missed that my picture-in-picture window had moved to the wrong screen. So everyone say hi to Washi while he plays Lockdown Protocol with friends. Washi is a super sweet and talented dude who streams on Twitch, link in the description. And I know I could have just cut this out, but I think an accidental shoutout is more fun. Once I got all the entries in, I picked out some fonts to style it, and I used the stroke and fill settings to make the fun little lines and borders. I'll come back and add colors to this later. After I was happy with the D4 table, I added more body text stuff. I needed to make sure I kept space open for a very big table for all the NPCs you can use. Not to mention space for the art. I truly had a lot of fun coming up with these characters, and I'd really love to make more lists like this of quirky characters for future dungeons. Nova, aka Nevyn, helped pitch names and descriptions too, and also really helped condense and edit this big idea down so that all the text would fit. You can always pause to read these postcards, but I really tried to aim for a mix of personalities, wheels, and quirks. I enjoyed about a week of watching exports for research too. And, by the way, wheelchair motocross is a totally real badass thing. Go look it up, it's so sick and cool. With all the text in its place, it was time to add some fun colors and art. I added some colorful borders to some text boxes with pastel backgrounds. For most of the colors, I just used the little dripper tool to take any colors from the map I thought would look neat. At this point, I really felt like there was something missing with the headers, so I decided to use the Noto emoji font and add some fun little graphics. I went through and picked out a bunch of wheels. We got a skateboard, wheelchair, bike, scooter, and whatever else I could find in the little emoji menu. My favorite of them all being the shopping cart. And because I love rainbows and whimsy, I added color to all the things. After a bunch of experimentation, we got King Punk squeezed into the middle here. It was a lot of squishing and nudging and tweaking, but we got it in the end. Here's a pro tip, don't put a dungeon on a little postcard unless you know what you're getting into. But also, I triple dog dare you to try it, because a constrictive exercise can be very good for practice. And say maybe if there are any game designers or artists hanging out who would like to collab on one of these dungeons, pretty please let me know. Find a way to get in touch, drop a comment, send an email, find the Discord. I know you can find it. A big part of why I wanted to start these system agnostic dungeons was that maybe it could become something that would be an easy outlet or commitment for collaborations. There's a lot of people I admire in this space. And for most people in the indie TTRPG sphere, just in the freelance artist and creative world, you have to take on multiple roles to get projects rolling. There's not a lot of time to spare, and everyone is busy and overwhelmed. But also, at the same time, opportunities are very limited unless you have the resources to get a project rolling yourself. It is what it is, but maybe drawing a map or writing just enough text for the side of a postcard could be a little fun something we can manageably do together. Anyway, yeah, could be cool. Reach out, let me know, love you. I'm twirling a finger in my hair. So to fit in triple dubs, I had to do a little reorganizing. I moved over the Rule 2 section to the bottom left, and after some guessing, I ended up putting the D4 table in its place. I tilted the table too, just because there are no rules and you can't tell me what to do. But after some very careful text wrapping, we got Triple Dove fitting right in there. Another detail I wanted to add was King's Landing and the busted throne. I took the art layers for the busted throne and just tried to fit it within this little white space at the bottom. I lowered the opacity so it became more of a background piece. It's kind of a quick way to quickly give the feeling of it being far below King Punk. Next, I took the art layers with just the skate park pieces without the concrete background, and I lined up the thrones. Once they were overlapping and I was happy with it, I moved that art behind the text and made it even more transparent. Of course, we can't forget to add color to our tables. I added pastel colors to every other row, and I colored the lines between the cells. It felt a little too yellow on the entire right half of the postcard, so I made the where column blue. With all that done, it's time to test print and reveal! Punk Bark is all finished. I had a real good time working on this art while live streaming. I really like working with bright and fun colors, and I think the theme really fit with it. This had neon pinks and oranges, with teals, yellow, purple, and greens. I love it. If you can believe it, this was almost steampunk themed. But when I sat down and actually started drawing, I just went with an entirely different flow. Creating the multicolored sticker borders was also really cool, and I want to bring it to future designs. Really love how these stickers turned out. I made extras just for myself. That's all, y'all. Thank you so much for supporting what we create. Leaving a comment below and sharing the link also helps so much. And it's a totally free way to help me continue making this art. Ta-ta for now.